hardest parts of the tape to listen to. He said, please, I can't tell you, as a man, watching another man go through something like that, what it makes you feel like. I didn't watch the tape for a week. I didn't watch it. I saw a still picture. I said, I don't want to see this because I can't unsee it. But when I finally watched it, I understood nobody's going home. Anyone who sees this, well, they're going to be furious. Mm-hmm. Oh. So the other night, I'm in my little clubhouse, and I'm watching Don Lemon, that hotbed of reality. He says, where are all these celebrities? Why aren't you talking? This nigga said, everybody. I was screaming at the TV, I dare you to say me, nigga. I dare you. Has anyone ever listened to me do comedy? Have I not ever said anything about these things before? Mm-hmm. So now all of a sudden, this nigga expects me to step in front of the streets and talk over the work these people are doing as a celebrity? Answer me. Do you want to see a celebrity right now? Do we give a fuck what Ja Rule thinks? Does it matter about celebrity? No. This is the streets talking for themselves. They don't need me right now. I kept my mouth shut. And I'll still keep my mouth shut. But don't think that my silence is complicit to all this.
Well, thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of Nice But Feisty. I am Mandy Nice, and I'm going to get right into my topics. There's a lot of now people across the board are looking at police reform, including the President of the United States of America. And as this is airing, this will be Tuesday, so he will have already had his press conference. And so hopefully everyone was able to watch that. I have one topic that I'm going to go into, or article, and the link will also be in the description. Last week, thank you guys for being so patient as we took a week off for mental health, and watching the Dave Chappelle special, realizing that people have different ways of responding to trauma. Some people come right away and they want to do something right in that moment, and that's where you saw with the protests. Perfectly fine, okay to do, and we commend everyone out that was protesting and that were, trying to get their point across in a social manner. But there are also people that what they do is they sit back, they contemplate, and they figure out how to use their art, their platform, or whatever the case may be, to also express their feelings about injustice or about what's going on in society at that time. And if you have not watched the Dave Chappelle 846 special, I do suggest you go watch that. It is a very timely piece. I definitely, for me, he did express pretty much everything that I was thinking, everything that I was going through, and just, and also the fact that he pointed out that, he didn't need to come out right away, because he needed time to process as well. And to understand that him and George Floyd, are around about the same age, that hits some people a little bit harder than others. So it's just, everyone needs to be able to assess and deal with, what's going on in our society in their own pace, in their own time. And again, like I said, that was a very poignant stand-up. And I commend the bravery of all the people that went out and protested. And I also commend people that have the bravery to stand up and speak your truth. And and to use your artistry in the way that you can. So again, if you have not seen the Dave Chappelle 846 special, please go watch it. for anyone of color. You don't have to be black in order to enjoy Dave Chappelle. I'm pretty sure everyone knows that because he's had a lot of white fans as well. But definitely go watch that. Anyway, so here is my article. And it's talking about, this comes from The Cut, and it says, what exactly does it mean to defund the police? As thousands of protesters across the country have gathered to demand justice for George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and other black people killed by police, a related rally cry has gained momentum: defund the police. It's an idea that's been popular among activists and critics of the criminal justice system for decades. In the last 2 weeks, though, it's gained unprecedented support and national media attention. Proponents of defunding argue that incremental police reform has failed. A better solution, they argue, would be to more effectively address underlying factors that contribute to crime like poverty and homelessness. This would be achieved by cutting police forces' often astronomical budgets on a city level and reallocating those funds towards social services such as housing and youth services. Some critics have dismissed the defunding the police as a left-wing fantasy, but the concept is quickly gaining mainstream recognition. Perhaps more notably, on June 7th, the City Council of Minneapolis announced its intent to disband the city's police department with a veto-proof majority and replace it with a holistic model of public safety that actually keeps us safe. Now, this article is a tad bit dated because since this article came out, Minneapolis has now officially voted unanimously to disband their police department, and that the sheriff's department will take over any calls of assistance or battling crime in that area. The simple fact is there has been a lot of push, especially on certain networks, that I think they don't take an account of actually what defunding the police actually is. They think that it's just abolishing the police. And for that, I say their words matter because abolish means to get rid of the police force altogether. Defund means to take some of the funds that would normally go to the police department and actually do what this article says, which is to give it to social services in order to mitigate a lot of the problems, because even police have said society is putting too much on their shoulders. And when honest police officers are saying, fine, good, go ahead and fund those other things so we don't have to deal with homelessness. Even one officer was saying now people call them when there's an animal problem, and you should be calling animal control, but they call 911 and say, hey, there's, an animal situation, a dog is out of control, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, this is the problem with putting everything on police shoulders. And we as a society need to understand that if we put money and allocate funds or resources to other areas that would help mitigate crime, then the police won't be so overwhelmed. And I think at this point, this is a definite cry from both sides, from the people that are being policed, over-policed, and downright, accosted for no reason at all, because we clearly see that the type of policing that's going on, especially in the black community, is that they're over-policing the black community. And the reason why there is so much crime sometimes in the black community is because of the poverty. So if we have funds and resources allocated to eradicate poverty, then you won't see the police all the time in the black community. Or even, going in there and, having to always, be a problem situation. It could be, for really bad things that, like murder. So police can actually handle situations like that instead of maybe domestic violence. Maybe, social services can take over that. So the system is stressed on both sides. We definitely need to take a look and peel back on the over policing of Black communities, especially, the over policing. But yeah, so that is my article. It will be in the description. But yes, people, words matter. People are not asking for abolishing the police. And those that are, they're saying abolish. But other people are saying defund, which means we're taking a bit of away from the police, not in a bad thing, but so that they're more effective at their job. So they won't have, so they won't have to deal with so much. But that's that. All right, take it away, Tasha.
Okay, all right. You already know whose turn it is to go second this week, hunty. I'm gonna read my article first, and then I got a list that I think that needs to be included in any considerations of any governing body that's now looking to actually do police reform. Because if it was up to me, honey, I would abolish the whole damn thing and start all over. Because y'all know this whole shit is fucked up. Okay. I'm just saying. Y'all know. You see it with your own eyes. All right. This article comes from USA Today, and it is entitled Rayshard Brooks Death. Atlanta police officer fired. Police chief steps down. Okay. An Atlanta police officer involved in the death of a Black man, that's Rayshard, Mr. Brooks, at a fast food restaurant, which was Wendy's, had been fired and another placed on administrative leave, authorities confirmed Sunday. The move follows Saturday's resignation of Atlanta Police Chief Erica Shields. Now, looking at this article, if you would be looking at the spelling of this lady's name, you would have thought she's Black, but she is not. Anyway, she stepped down on Friday night after the killing of Rayshard Brooks, 27-year-old. As it sparks a new wave of protests in Atlanta after turbulent demonstrations that led to the death of George Floyd in Minneapolis had simmered down. So basically, we starting all over again. The terminated officer was identified as Garrett Rolfe, who was hired in October 2013. Atlanta Police Department Sergeant John Caffey, I guess that's Coffee or Caffey, told USA. I'm gonna skip down. All right. According to the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, Mr. Brooks was shot by an officer while fleeing during a struggle at the Wendy's drive-thru on Friday. Brooks had been seen sleeping in his car at the drive-thru, causing other customers to drive around the car. Okay, first of all, if you actually saw the video, y'all know how the drive-thru is set up. They have that little space right before the little drive-through lane, and then you have the other, the larger space that people can go around back and forth. Well, he was parked in that itty-bitty little space that's right next to the drive-through. He wasn't actually in the drive-through. I'm just saying. So, police were dispatched to Wendy's around 10:30 p.m. to conduct a sobriety test on Brooks, who failed the test according to officers. That's according to officers. During the arrest, they have it here. During the arrest, the male subject resisted and struggled ensued. You know why he struggled? Is because he probably saw that George Floyd tape, just like a lot of us did. And if you did not watch the tape, you have no idea why people are upset. So if you didn't watch the tape, you need to exit the conversation now and do this with your mouth. Okay? He resisted, or rather they say resisted, but he got up out of that situation and ran because he was like, ain't nobody gonna kill me, like slowly suffocate me like they did with George Floyd. So he ran. Okay? The dude ran. So he no longer posed a threat to the officers. He got shot in the back. And again, even if you look at the footage from the police officers, this dude was calmly talking back and forth to them. So what was the point of them sitting there? Here's my question to people out here. Is it illegal for a man who feels that they're a little bit too drunk to drive home to stop operating their vehicle, pull it to the side, try to sleep it off? Is that illegal? Try not to be drunk? I'm trying to figure out at what part did he commit a crime? He wasn't operating the vehicle while drunk. He got out the car. He was like, yeah, look, I'll just walk home because I'm not trying to get no drunk driving ticket. That's the reason why he pulled over in the first place and wasn't even driving the damn car. Sleeping in his car. Is that illegal to sleep in your car? Like, y'all can read the rest of this for yourselves. I got my list I need to go over. Because I got a list that I am pretty sure kind of covers most of the bases on what people want to see when they talk about police reform. Okay? So here we go. Number 1. Police officers can no longer kill Black and Indigenous people without consequence. That means bye-bye to qualified immunity. No more of that. Number 2. If a police officer does kill a Black person or an Indigenous person, they must be immediately fired and charges be brought against them. I got a little extra to add to that. Fired, charges, conviction. So I just, on the fly, added that little conviction part because it's necessary. Number 3. Any lawsuit against a police officer must be paid by the police officer from their salary or their pensions. No more taxpayer bailout for lawsuits that involve criminal activity on the part of the officers. Okay? Number 4. If a police officer commits a crime and upon conviction, that officer should get a sentence that is double the time of a regular Black person. Yeah, yes, I went there. Number 5. Any police officer that has ties or affiliations or membership to white supremacist organizations must be immediately investigated and fired. Number 6. Police officers caught lying on any report or during an investigation must be charged with perjury and obstruction of justice. Number 7. Police officers must have body cams on at all time while in uniform, and if the camera is turned off by the officer must be punished and they must be charged with destroying evidence. Number 8. Body cam footage must be available to the public within 12 hours of the footage being uploaded to servers. Number 9. Police officers are no longer allowed to police in areas that they do not reside. So basically, you don't live here, you don't police here. Neither. Number 10. Independent investigations for all cases involving police misconduct and in cases involving injury and or death of citizens. Number 11. There shall be a civilian review board for any case that called or in which force was used. And lastly, but not leastly, number 12. Warrants should be obtained for any and all arrests, even for minor infractions. That means there's no longer y'all pulling people over and be like, oh, we gonna put you under arrest. No, that means that you need to go back to your car, call your superior officer. This is what I'm going through. I'm gonna need a warrant. Can y'all go ahead and send me one electronically to my car? Do you understand what I'm saying? All right, that's all I got. I love you. Bye. Well, thanks so much for tuning into another episode of Nice But Feisty with Mandy Nice and Tasha Feisty. Ooh, ooh, yeah. Have a good one. Oh, and one more thing. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And share the video. You heard.